mrecktv. Peace, worlds. mrec for mrecktv. We got an interesting clip from Brother Polight, and you can follow him at brother_Polight. Now, he goes into this clip about Kanye West and Kyrie Irving and makes some valid points. All right? So hit that like, hit that bell, hit the subscribe, and let's vibe.
Blessings in abundance. It's Brother Polight, and I'm here to talk to you today about a whole lot of buck breaking and buck dancing. And people are truly acting like the minorities that they were intended to be. And by minority, we're talking about not the percentage, but minority based on law. Because we talking about this Kanye West and Kyrie Irving saga. You know, I don't like to do reporting per se. I'm more into scholarship. I'm into making my money. I feel like this is what we need to focus on as a community. With the same zeal and the same enthusiasm that we have towards religion, I feel we need to promulgate some of those same themes, that same energy, into our economics. And then and only then will we transcend the situation that we find ourselves in today. But fine, I love what both those brothers represent. I feel those brothers are qualified as leaders, but I also feel we shouldn't put people in their position to speak in ways that are unbecoming to people that may impact their resources. So what you saying? We gotta be quiet, brother? Oh, it's not like you bootlicking and you being a... No. I'm saying why everybody gotta be broke or why everybody gotta lose. They got things to lose. The people who don't have much to lose, let y'all say the reckless shit. Let y'all stand next to things that may not necessarily be true and integrated with things that aren't true. But why we gotta put them out there on Front Street like that? What I'm saying is, be more calculative in your deliberations. Because if there's any error that can be found in anything that you say, that will be what they hone in on. And then we will never really attach ourselves to your objective or your focal point. If you say anything that can be taken out of context dramatically, then we'll lose focus on what you really was looking to convey. Case in point, Kanye West said it's the same race / people of the same ethnicity or religious group that he finds have been doing business practices that are appalling, that are dysfunctional. Hold on. Come on, why are they doing that? Okay, thank you. Sorry about that. On the stream over here. That the business practices are appalling, dysfunctional. This is what Kanye was saying, right? There's a group of people that every time he turns around, they happen to be of the same race, creed, denomination, ethnicity, and religion. Based on his personal experience. But the problem is, once he makes a generalization, it's not fair because you apply it to everyone in the whole community. That's just not fair. And this is not a knock to him. But what I'm saying is, people like myself, I damn near grew up speaking. So over time, I'm more refined when it comes to my correspondences. My conveyance becomes a lot more clearer each time I speak because I've been put through trial and error. I've been subject to much scrutiny every debate I do and people looking for if there's any misinformation. So these guys are coming into a newly found position of speaking before the world. But they're not as refined when it comes to speaking, and I don't want them to lose their resources because they may have misrepresented who they are in light of their anger. And that's me showing concern for my brothers and sisters. That's what that is. So he could have approached it just identifying the fact that he wants to appeal to the interests and the nature of people of the said religion, group, ethnicity, the leaders of the same, and implore that they indulge in conversation to potentially reprimand members of their community that represent their faith that are doing things that he conceives to be wrong as it is perpetrated against him and even members of his own race, being us. And communicating it this way, minus the emotion, there's no crevice of space to do what they did to him. He keeps his deal, keeps his $1 billion status, and he still puts people on the record as doing the wrong thing. But what black people want to see is the buck dance. They want to see the cursing, the yelling, the screaming. Yeah, put their asses on blast. That's what we want to see. Why are they doing that? That's so corny. Hold on, y'all. This is so corny what they doing. Messing with my service on my Facebook. Hold on. This is what they want to see. They want to see the yelling. They want to see the cursing. They want to show. Okay? They don't want to see a legitimate conversation not rooted in anger, malice, and prejudice. We want to see the emotionalism. And that's what's throwing us off as a community. All the emotion. Our people want to see the emotions. Sorry about that. Our people want to see the emotions. They want cursing, screaming, yelling, disrespect, undermining scenarios that it just feels good at the moment. And that's that P implied Q. Q implies P. Q implies R. Therefore, R implies P. But it gets us nowhere. It just feels good or it sounds good. And with Kyrie Irving, bless his soul. And I personally don't feel that he has a hatred towards anyone because it's inconsistent with what he's always teaching and posting and saying. But if you create or give a crevice of space for people to misinterpret what you say dramatically or what you mean or feel dramatically, then everyone starts identifying with the misconstrued part of your communication as opposed to your focal point. I believe Kyrie has a sense of knowledge of self and pride. And the more you learn, the less you know. And he's enthusiastic and zealous to learn more and more about himself. And in his celebration, as far as the milestones in education he has achieved by learning more and more things about himself, he wishes to share it with members of his community to encourage literacy, to encourage the same zeal that he has found in gaining knowledge of self and kind. What happens is, what people will do is find something wrong, especially if they do find something that's actually wrong, and then the focal point becomes what is wrong, and now you've given them opportunity to disregard all the powerful things you had to say. Can you walk the dog out or take the dog out? She ready to use the bathroom. You feel what I'm saying? Take the dog out, baby. You heard? Yeah. And that's what happens. And that's what happens. We don't want people to lose the focal point of what we're looking to drive home as far as what our concerns are. So don't give people the opportunity to hone in on this when it's really that you're talking about. And that's the point that I'm making. But y'all just be reckless, shoot, and hit whoever, even if you hit some of your people. And that's emotionalism. And I'm taking the emotion out of this. I want to just deal with the hardcore facts. And so, we got to keep it a buck. No pun intended. There's a whole lot of buck dancing. And buck breaking taking place. Black folks, you guilty of it too. Keep it a buck. the link that Kyrie shared does have misinformation in it. And I know I just broke the code because I'm not supposed to say this misinformation is something that was constructed by black people in an endeavor to uplift our people and demean others. I should just go along with it because, after all, the brothers mean well. The problem with that is now they got us. Because if you attach yourself to something that has disinformation against any group of people while you endeavor to uplift your own, now you can't be taken serious by the logical amongst our kind. Because people that deal with scholarship or take the time out to do research, or when the community that's being attacked can properly break down where the disinformation is, then what? It does a discredit and a disservice to the very community you're looking to uplift. Now, don't play with me, because I believe the author or whoever's part of that camp, at one point I was supposed to do a debate one time. But you know, these things never happen because they know. Nobody want no smoke with me, man. Y'all know me with debates. Now, do it in fun, not to denounce my brothers in ways to stop their movement, but it strengthens us. But there's a bunch of misinformation in there. There's misinformation about the Jewish community in that documentary and in the book that was created. And I think the number one reason there's a bunch of misinformation about Jewish people in that from Hebrews to Negroes publication and documentary is because people are too angry when they're doing their scholarship. And racial animus scholarship that is driven by racial animus, anger, biasness, and insecurities will always be compromised. Those of you that know our good brothers, the Hebrew Israelites, the black brothers that be on the streets, you know, but I ain't gonna do that. I ain't gonna troll my brothers. The guys that got their garbs on in the streets, them some angry brothers, man. And you know, if you angry about our social condition, it might appeal to your best interest. Go in the room, mommy. I'm gonna get her right. It might appeal to your best interest because they angry about things you angry about, and that's the part where they accurate. What are we mad about? They're probably mad about a bunch of things that we should be mad about, and that's where they're right. That's where you relate. Then they slip in all the other stuff, and it's not so correct. And therefore, you wonder why, black people can't just get under these pro-black movements under the veil of religion. And I'm going to tell you why. Because once religion is involved, a lot of your facts are going to dissipate. Because there's a point where you won't be able to have historical references for religion. Because shit is made up. And then religion speaks of God's chosen people. And then everybody got to factor in, well, I don't want to be the people that's not God's people. And then now you can't trust what people are saying because everybody feels they talking about us. And then let's create a narrative about who everyone else is. So everybody else is a Gentile or a heathen. Don't nobody want to be the heathen when they read these stories? Nobody wants to be the heathen. So naturally, people will prop themselves as the chosen of God and make everyone else the goddamn devil. I know the blasphemy will call themselves Jews and are really the synagogues of Satan. Who want to be that? So everyone's going to point the finger. That's what religion do. And therefore the scholarship is not going to be genuine. Because there's a motive behind the scholarship except for the truth. Because you're looking to find your place in the narrative. Instead of study the narrative and find your place. So it's saturated in anachronisms, misappropriating dates and times to fit the communication of the text. Anachronisms. So if you do a philological perusal, get into the language, get into coinage, you can learn more about the history that corresponds with these religions. And then you'll realize everyone's full of shit. How about that? That's really the moral of the story. Everyone's full of shit when it comes to religion. But no one wants to hear that. Everyone wants to just be God's chosen and everyone else is wicked or evil or not so great. And some people sugarcoat it, we're God's people, but it don't mean that you people are bad. It just so happens we're God's people. So buck dancing. When the white man enslaved us, he didn't want us to keep our name, our language, any other part of our culture for that matter. So we had to sneak and make up dances. He didn't want us to do our cultural dances because our dances told stories about who we are and where we're from. Walking with me. And so one of the dances, we had swing dances, jig dances, and buck dancing. A lot of you are good at buck dancing. And so with this buck dancing, we would covertly come up with these dances so we could still dance because we're people of soul and soul we had. They done stripped us of everything else. And over time, they were in awe at the bucks because buck alluded to the physique of the African that had the white man in awe, and especially the white woman. That's why a lot of this became penis envy. That's why he's so obsessed with cigars and cigarettes. I mean, you read Francis Cress Welsing book. Rest in power, sis. The gun, all of that. Penis envy. But anyway, it's all subconscious, psychological. I could go any of a number of ways with the communication. But look up Francis Cress Welsing. Powerful scholar. Also study what Jewel Pookrum has to offer. I don't care if she's with some white man or changed her diet somehow. I don't know. The knowledge is powerful that she kicks. Check out Jewel Pookrum. Our sister's been kicking it. But anyway, Francis Cress Welsing. So the buck was a physical specimen as a slave that over time they said, man, maybe we could exploit. Things are changing. Maybe we could exploit their physique in association to their talent and abilities to dance. So they've come to accept the dancing systems, the evolved dancing systems, the acculturated form of dance of the slaves, and then look to make money off of it or for their own personal entertainment. Have the bucks dance for them. They start exploiting the dancing system of the buck because the thing we used to marvel at is the physique, the athleticism of the buck. That white woman couldn't deny that buck though. She wanted to buck dance later on, but that's another conversation. And so the buck dancing was a dance we do. We hide, but we do our little dance. And then later on, it became the dance that the white man would accept. And he'll give concessions, give you a little bit more as a slave if you just dance for him. And so I see a lot of buck dancing in media. Katana, stop, please. Please. See a lot of buck dancing in media. Baby girl, deal with the dog, please. So, buck dancing in media is taking place. People are saying and doing things aggressively against our brothers. I think simply to get their non-black employers to understand that, hey, I don't want to be reprimanded, condemned, and I don't want you to have any reservations that I may be thinking like these brothers. But the buck dancing doesn't stop there. Buck dancing also is when the black media says that's employed by the non-blacks When the black media turns around and looks to see if any other black media is going to support Kanye or Kyrie, and then they decide, oh, I see enough brothers supporting. Oh, enough black people are upset. Oh, they're asking too much of Kyrie. Now you're on their side. That's also buck dancing. Now suddenly, the Negroes that's constantly disrespectful towards these brothers are now starting to say something's not right. They buck dance. Because they just making sure they do things that's politically or socially correct, so their employer doesn't look at them like the buck. Because you have the buck and you have the buck was considered to be someone that's dangerous, a physique uncanny, unparalleled to any other human being on the earth, and likely to rebel, like them damn Caribs. Hardest ones to enslave, right? Caribbean people. And so you also had the coon who made every concession and gave every consideration for whatever it is the white man needed to let them know, hey, I got your back, even if I got to go against my own people. That's all right. That's the. So you had the Bucks, and you have the Buck was considered a threat because, goddamn, at any moment this motherfucker could whip my ass. You had at any moment he'd be willing to whip the ass of his own brother before he turned on that white man. So we see the buck dancing, and we see the buck breaking. Now the buck breaking was, let's instill fear in these bucks by taking one and castrating him in front of everyone, emasculating him, cut his penis off, maybe even double castrate him. Take his balls and his penis. The Arabs used to double castrate us during the trans-sub-Saharan slave trade that took place over 1,100 years in Africa under Islam, prior to the white man's Christianity that took place for over 400 years. Almost 2,000 years of subjugation. But anyway, hope I ain't boring nobody here. Okay? So what would happen is they would make an example out of the buck before his peers if any of them was considering rebelling or having a free mind of their own. If any of them wanted to be free thinkers or question authority. So we're going to strip him of his dignity before his peers, so everyone else will have to consider this may be you and worse. And so that's what it looks like for Kyrie Irving. Every community has the right to be upset, especially if misinformation comes their way about their race, especially during the most pivotal points in their history. So I totally understand the Jewish community. When there's misinformation being disseminated in there about their community to other communities abroad, that makes perfect sense. I'm a logical person. Doesn't mean I have to be pro or con, for or against. We shouldn't use lies to substantiate any of our points. We could just use truth. Let the truth stand. I'm on the side of the truth. There's his side, her side, and there's the truth. Okay? And so this list of things for Kyrie Irving to do in order to get his job back, to pay $500,000 to donate towards the Jewish community, to have a sit down with the ADL, Anti-Semitic Defamation League, to get sensitivity training. You're going to train them properly, how to think or approach thinking or communicating about other. Hey, hold on. It's like 6 things. It actually is 6 things. Itemized list of things. We've never seen this before. I ain't see Donald Sterling have to give a percentage of his hard earnings to the black community that he disrespected as the owner of the Clippers. People say, well, but the NBA's fair because, he had to sell his team. Yeah, that made sense because the other owners had to vote him out. That's part of the bylaws, and you don't want to get all the Bucks upset. It'd be more than the Milwaukee Bucks you have to worry about. The whole damn league was about to become Bucks. You don't want that. It was in their best interest. But I mean, poor Donald Sterling, he got to get the equity out of his company early. Poor Donald Sterling made over $1 billion. He was forced to make over $1 billion because he had to sell the team. And chances are they're going to do the same thing to the guy at the Phoenix Suns that was talking horrible about black people. And I don't think he's going to get an itemized list of instructions for what he needs to do to be reinstated as the owner to participate in the league. I don't think he would even do that. And shit, he might have to sell his stake in the team and unfortunately make about $1 billion or so. Kyrie's not over 200,000 every day that he's not playing. It's not the same. You know, a smack on the wrist. You know, just sell your team and make $1 billion. We're going to make sure it gets sold. We're going to make sure you can sell this team. You got it when it wasn't worth $1 billion. We're going to make sure when you sell this team, you get $1 billion. And that's your punishment. No itemized list, no nothing. Like, come on, fam. Like, who you talking to? You ain't talking to a coon. Who you talking to? So, I'm fair. I give fair critique of my good brothers Kanye West and Kyrie Irving. I want them to continue to be the free thinkers that they are. They are definitely leaders in our community, and I want them to exercise even better judgment moving forward. Don't fall for the hype train of everyone saying, yeah, blast them. Talk to them, because people who have less than you don't mind if you lose. That happens to be the case quite often. So it's easy for people to say all the ridiculous things that you should do, saturated in emotion. Easy for people to do that. Because a lot of people hate. They just want you to see how it feels to be them again. Subconsciously. Me personally, if a person has $1 billion, I hope they get $2 billion. I love seeing our people make money. I want them to make even more money. That's just the type of person that I am. I can't see you make enough. So much has been taken from us. So, you know, I hope it all makes sense. The buck dancing. The buck breaking that they're attempting to do with Kanye and Kyrie. Let's break you down. Let's take your Adidas deal. Let's take your Gap deal. Let's compromise your Donda. You see what I'm saying? Do you see what's going on here? Make sure you guys share this video. But don't think I'm not who I am. I'm still him. But I know what it's like to get 20 million views, 50 million views. Oh, it hit 50 million views on Facebook. Oh, you're on World Star. Oh, you're on the Breakfast Club. You're on Vlad TV. You're on C-SPAN, CNN, Fox 5. I know what it's like when people interview me with the intention to misconstrue what I'm saying. The intention to do it on live television. I know what it's like when they turn your people against you. You start walking around here paranoid, think everybody after you. The only people that you could hope to have is real friends and real family that may not even be your blood to see you through. So I know what these brothers are going through. Because it never stops. And people will come for them again. And people will come for me again. It never stops. No matter even if we try to chill, I calm down so it can slow down. But it never stops. Because they always remember that you are the buck, not the coon. They always know you keep it a buck. And so long as you keep it a buck, they always got their eye on you. And they know our people will fall for any trick or trap. It be your own people that they push to the forefront to tear you down. So it doesn't look like it's them playing puppeteer. Look how quick our people are to come out and castigate their own people and say negative, derogatory things about Kanye, derogatory things about Kyrie Irving. Look how quick our people made it in their best interest to say things they didn't even say against the white man. Brett Favre, it looked like this man been taking welfare money to fund his endeavors for his child and his own self-gain. He barely made the news. But Ime Udoka and Kyrie Irving, and I'm like, yo, this kind of crazy. It's kind of crazy. Marv Albert, for the sexual charge that he was given, still kept his job in the NBA. Didn't get no 6-step list, itemized list of things he needs to do. And I believe he confirmed that he did that stuff, but I could be wrong. He ain't get no itemized list. And we revere him as one of the best telecasters ever and seen him on his retirement through. And we just act like it never happened. But they treating Ime Udoka like he did what this guy was accused of. And people going in, stepping in to make sure this brother can't get a job with the Nets. It's like, it's all stepping in like, yo, don't do that.
mrecktv.